Hello and welcome to Pickle's Garage. Today we are going to be looking into a temperature sending unit. So it's a temp sender, looks like this. On the 93 Camaro, what you'll notice is you'll get this warning right here. And I will show you kind of what that means and what the repair looks like, but you'll see this. First thing, of course, is to make sure that you're not actually low on coolant, because that's technically what the sensor is designed to do, is to tell you that you are low on coolant, which you would want to pull over because you don't want to overheat your car. However, you know, what does tend to happen is the sensor will go bad. And so I'm going to show you kind of the replacement of the sensor, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright, so now we are back in the engine bay. So like I said, I mean, in most cases that I've dealt with, it's usually the sensor that will go bad before anything else. But of course, you want to check the very obvious and to see if the coolant level is actually low. So ideally, you'd be doing this after the car's been sitting for a good long while, and very slowly removing this cap right here. If you are in a situation where you are on the side of the road, I would still try and wait absolutely as long as you possibly can, and then using like a t-shirt or something to try and cover it, and then very slowly in gentle increments turning it, because sometimes you'll turn it a little bit, it'll seem fine, and then you'll start hearing it kind of sizzling a little bit. You do not want to mess with a hot radiator, because I mean, there's been people that have been permanently scarred just from it splashing all over them. The other thing too is never look down into it directly. Try and do it from off to the side. There's been plenty of people, they got it off, you know, nothing happened. They look straight into it and then, so it can be, you know, it says danger for a reason. I don't want to, like, you know, make it something it's not. It's definitely something that you want to be careful with. So keep that all in mind, that, you know, do the obvious, check to make sure that it's not super low on coolant. But in the case that it is full, and you know it's full and it's always full, we're going to go ahead and replace the sensor. Now, the easiest way to get to this is actually by removing the battery. And so easy enough to do that. You're just going to use, if it's anything like mine, which it should be, this is a 5/16. I would say the wrench is probably going to be ideal for the area, but you know, if you have a socket, that could work too. You're also going to need to remove this bolt down here that is actually holding the battery, and that is going to be a half, right? Long extension, regular ratchet, and then once you have the battery out, we're going to actually see the sensor down right in here, just beyond under here, and that you just need to remove with a screwdriver. The other thing is that this is obviously connected to some of the fluid towards the top, and so if you have a full radiator, as you should, it is going to be leaking out. And so put a pan underneath to catch as much of that as you can, and then you'll need to top it off once you finish replacing it. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the battery here, and we'll go on to our next steps. Alright, so we are going to start off with the negative side. I always start off with the negative side, just a little bit safer. That way you don't arc it against something. So the part I got, this sensor, you can find them pretty readily available at most auto parts stores, but they are going to try and charge you an arm and a leg. I've seen 50, I've seen 75, I've seen all kinds of stuff. So what I recommend, and of course I know I mention them all the time, but just go to Rock Auto. Like I said, still not sponsored, but I just like their stuff, so I'm gonna keep talking about it. But essentially, if they have it, I buy it from, and I found it for 30 bucks, so can't go wrong with that. The other thing too that I will mention is this is a 1993 Camaro, but they didn't have the sensor for my year. They had it for 94 through, I want to say, like 98. And the only thing I can assume is that perhaps my radiator has been replaced, but you'll see in this video if yours is the same, and therefore if that's the part you need to replace. I do apologize for not offhand knowing if that is 100% a 93 thing, like maybe they had something different, or if that's just, for whatever reason, them excluding the 93 despite it also being the same part. So now that we have the battery out, you'll see we have plenty of access. I'll give you a better camera angle here in a second. Okay, so here she is in all of her glory. Like I said, I mean, if you look down and you look at your radiator and you see that little square box, then that is exactly what we're working on. So again, hopefully you'll be able to check, but I would assume this will work for yours as well. Also works for Firebirds. So right there you saw me take off this, right? It's just a really easy retaining clip. You just push this up, pull it down. What I noticed actually is I saw that this was disconnected when I was working on something entirely different, and so the guy had got the kind of alert or whatever that the coolant level was low, and so he just unplugged this and it won't, you know, set off check engine light like modern cars do. It just didn't turn on the coolant level sensor. So here is our little square here, and this is just a very simple retaining clip that we're just going to go ahead and push out. So I'm going to go ahead and push from the top just to get one side, and then I'll probably pull this a little bit. But once that retaining clip is removed, then this just pops straight back. So super easy repair. I'll get under it here. See, I moved it right to the side here, and then I might even be able to rock this out, or I'll do the bottom one. There we go, and then this should pop straight out. I'm going to use a rag here just because I let it cool, but it's still going to be a little warm, and I did not drain the coolant, so therefore there should be some coolant out just like that. I do have a bucket down there that is catching all that good stuff, but yeah, very dirty. It's very old. It's even cracked a little bit, so probably got really hot and is now donezo. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the new one on. Should be nice and easy, same process, just popping it right in. So let me grab that new one here and we will go from there. Alright, so they are very determined to let you know that there are no returns once you open the bag, so I guess keep that in mind, not to unwrap all willy-nilly. Weird. Alright, so now, like I said, we're just going to line it up. This was pointed down the last time, it's going to go like that, just the same on this. We're going to line her up. And press on in. And then it'll click. So the retaining clip will push itself out of the way and then pop right into place. So just make sure it's nice and snug on there, which it is, and you'll see the retaining clip on the other side of the lip. Alright, sorry about the hard cut here. My phone got too hot, so it turned itself off. So like I was saying, the clip will move itself out of the way, just kind of snaps into place, make sure the top and bottom is good, and then you're just going to re-plug this right back in, snaps into place, and you are good to go there. So it is an important piece, obviously. You know, you don't want to lose a perfectly good engine just because the coolant level is too low. So if you notice that's unplugged on yours, just plug it back in, that way you can get the right part here. But then yeah, just to wrap it up, you're just going to throw the battery back in and you are good to go. Don't forget to top off the fluid that you lost. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, as always, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll keep making these videos for you guys. Alright, thanks.